Welcome to Propertia. We are in Bali and we are talking about real estate today. So if you are joining us live, this is your unique chance. Oh yeah, sorry.
Cameras
the
there.
the camera is
We're
there.
looking at the TV.
Yeah. It's your unique chance to answer any question about Bali real estate and also about Bali in general. And then we will, of course, answer any question you might have. And I want to welcome Joe Pillar, sales manager from Propertia.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Joe.
Thank you.
So let me ask you my very first question, which I just got this morning from a German customer. How is the Bali property market actually performing in 2026?
Sales.
Sales, listings, everything. How is the market?
How is the market? I think if you ask people around Bali, maybe agents around Bali, you will get a lot of answers that say it's not the same as it used to be. It's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. I think if you ask agents that have been here a long time, they will probably say pre-COVID, this is a lot like the market then.
So true.
We went through this crazy wave after COVID, which is now stabilized a little bit more. So the market is more stable. I think it's more seasoned investors that come here now, not maybe the FOMO that we saw in the first couple of years after COVID. Everything seems to have matured, so just stabilized in general. And I think that's from sales listings through to rentals, daily rentals. Everything seems to have still be very good, but a little bit more mature, a little bit more stable.
Which is very healthy for our market.
Which is very, very healthy. And I think also just in general, very good for the market here. Of course, what we saw for 3 years after COVID were land prices that went up 300, 400, 500% in a couple of years. We saw crazy, crazy prices on rentals. We saw some villas that were being sold way over market price. And that's because there was a lot of this kind of fear that people were going to miss
FOMO,
out.
the famous FOMO.
But we see a little less of that now.
Yeah.
Things seem to be more stable, more regulated as well, which is great. So I think we're seeing just a more mature market in general. Of course, factors around the world have caused the market to be a little bit slower this year as well, especially Middle East and things like that. So I'd say it's been a very different year for a lot of real estate agencies here in Bali, but still very, very good for agents, agencies, and people that want to invest here.
So my obvious question, if you want to buy a villa in Bali right now, is it too late or are you maybe in the middle of the curve?
Definitely not too late. And in fact, I think it's a very good time still to buy. I think now it's a lot more, you can be a lot more sure on what you're buying here because the market is more stable and because it's matured. I think there's also a lot more data to back up what has happened here the last few years. So I think people who are looking to buy, you can actually go in with a lot more confidence than maybe you could have even 2 or 3 years ago because there's more data to back that up. And it's more regulated as well than it was a couple of years ago. So
I have a feeling less developers now, right?
Definitely less developers. I mean, we went through a stage, and I think this is similar in a lot of places around the world where post-COVID, there were a lot of people here. A lot of people wanted to be developers. It was almost like anyone you spoke to around Bali was a developer, whether they were building or life coach or whatever. Whether they're building 1 villa or 10 villas, it was a lot easier to sell then as well. So they were selling based on simple renders and a small piece of land. Now it seems that the entry barrier to get in as a developer here is much, much higher. The developers need to come with money, which is a huge thing, and they need to be very professional, very experienced as well. So there's far less developers here, which is also good for the market because I think the ones that are here are next level to
next level, more professional, building in different materials. And they have this as a lifestyle.
Yeah, they're not part-time developers, right? They're developers that have done this for many years, and this is their full-time career that they've perhaps moved to Bali.
And my feeling is we are working with much less developers. They are more professional, but they are also building according to the demand. and they are asking us and working very closely with us and saying, hey, where should we build next and what do you need for the market? And I think you talk a lot with them all the time. And how are the trends right now? Is it still 1 and 2 bedroom, or are we seeing an increase in the bigger villas, or what's going on?
I think over the last year or so, we've seen some different interesting conversations happen where, we spoke to some management companies, particularly around Uluwatu, which is an area we'll talk about, I'm sure. And they had told us that there were between 30 and 40 3-bedroom villas in the whole of Uluwatu, and therefore they were in high demand. But also speaking to the management companies there very recently, they still say we can't get enough of 1-beds, that we just need more and more 1-beds. And we were just with one of my clients, we've seen clients that have bought 1 and 2-bedroom villas in the same area, in the same complex, and come back to us and say how much more successful they are with the 1-bed in comparison to the 2-bed. For us, it's very interesting because actually over the last 2 years, we'd sold more 2-beds than we had 1-beds. But I think it also is to a lot of buyers that treat Bali as a lifestyle investment and not just pure investment, right? So people that want a 2-bed perhaps see themselves spending a little bit more time here, but the pure investors are chasing the 1-beds, and it seems like they're still the best performing.
And what's the difference between a 1 and a 2-bedroom? Is it percentage or the income, or what's the difference? You say it's performing better than the 2-bed.
So I mean, from what my clients are saying, that the occupancy is actually overall, when you get to the end of the month, your 2-bedroom is still very highly occupied, but the 1-bedroom gets booked up much faster, right? So what you see in the 2-bedroom is you get a lot of people that book it last minute because perhaps the price has dropped a little bit and it's in line with a 1-bedroom.
Exactly.
Therefore, they save a little bit of money and they have a room to put their suitcases in. But actually, the 1-bedrooms, people tend to book in advance. And there's a lot of singles, couples, digital nomads, people that want their own space here. And that's why I think 1-bedroom just ticks the boxes.
Nice. And we talk about areas all the time. I know there's a lot of investors sitting out there. They're thinking, where is Uluwatu? Where is Canggu? And should I even invest in Bali? I think you and I, we are so used to being in Bali that maybe for new subscribers or new viewers, explain a little bit about Bali and where they should invest right now.
Okay.
And why?
So they know a little bit about us. We were a Canggu-born business, right? We started in where we're sat right now, Preranan, when nobody came 6 or 7 years ago, right? It was kind of the edge of Canggu. Nobody really talked about it. It was a little bit more residential. The business grew enormously around Canggu and the surrounding areas. So post-COVID, we saw Canggu, Brawa, Preranan, Babakan, Tumbat Bayu, Sesay grow. What happened about 2 or 3 years ago was the infrastructure and the zoning changed in large parts of Uluwatu. And Uluwatu is about an hour away from where we're sat right now. So it's in the south.
What's so special about Uluwatu?
South Peninsula.
Yeah.
Up on the hill. So it's called the Bukit Hill, right? Up on the hill, incredible beaches, incredible views. A little bit harder to get to and lots of land. So it meant that the infrastructure down there was just not as developed as this area. There was a lack of electricity. The roads were not as good. Running water was and continues to be an issue. But it was an area that previously hadn't seen much development and became very popular over the last 2 or 3 years. So now our business operates between the two. We have Canggu and the surroundings, which is still an enormous part of the business and very popular for a lot of people because it's tried and tested. It's been around for the last 7 or 8 years.
Super nice.
People love the area and it has a lot going for it. Then you've got Uluwatu, which is kind of the newer kid, but already developed so quickly. Over the last 3 years, you've seen Bingin, Thomas Beach, Nyang Yang, now talking about Sulaban. All these areas starting to grow, and it's incredible down there, right? It's kind of like Canggu felt 5 or 6 years ago.
Correct.
A lot of amazing F&B, gyms, the beaches are nicer, and in general, it's turning into a really nice place.
But the vibe is much nicer.
Yeah, and I think also...
beachy vibe.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's more city vibe in Canggu.
Probably 6, 7, 8 years ago when, I came and my friends would come to visit, they would spend their time here in Canggu, but then they would go down to Uluwatu for a day. It was a day trip, stop in Jimbaran on the way home, get some seafood, come back, right? I think now it's very typical for clients to split their time. So the tourists are coming here and spending a week in Canggu, a week in Uluwatu, and that's what's growing the business down there.
100% agree. And we just talked about it with the customer this morning. Uluwatu, like say in Canggu, there's maybe 5,000 rooms and villas for rent in Canggu area. And down there's maybe a few hundred.
Yeah.
So it's pushing up the price insanely. I saw the occupancy is high, but it's around 30% more expensive to rent a villa down south than it is in Canggu.
I think I read, the type of Airbnb daily rental villas that we would sell, so the 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 and 5 bedroom villas that are in and around Canggu, you're talking around 1,500 active around Canggu, and less than a third in Uluwatu. And we're also, when we talk about Uluwatu, if people look at a Bali map, it's that South Peninsula, right? And we only talk about the west side of it, right?
True.
And if you took that west side, it's about 5 or 6 times bigger than what we're talking about where we're sat now, Canggu and the surroundings. So there's just so much space down there for the area to grow.
How's the zoning? You say there's so much space, but can you build anywhere you want?
No, and people have been burnt on this in the last year. So what you find down there is there are landowners with huge plots of land, hectares and hectares of land. There is what I would say, a very fickle rule on the zoning.
Are you going to mention that?
Yeah, where if you have a certain size plot of land in a certain zoning, then you can build on 20% of it, right? So if your land is in green zone, but it's of a certain size, you can build on 20% of it and get the building permits. Our feeling on it is
a gray zone,
it's pretty grey, right? It's something where it's a bit of a first come, first serve, which is why we don't like it. But there's a bit of that down there, which, people should stay away from. But in general, there's still a lot of land down there. A lot of it is protected, but a lot of it is tourism, commercial zoning, or residential.
Let me just go a little bit deeper in that one. Why is it that you are a little bit hesitant about the 20%? Because of the lease agreements, right?
Exactly. First come, first serve. So what would happen is if I was a landowner with 100 ARA and I said, okay, I can lease out 20 ARA, right? And they can build on it. So I lease it out to you, 20 ARA. But then I don't really care.
Maybe you should just tell people out there, what is an ARA?
100 square meters.
Yeah.
You haven't tested me that on a long time.
Okay. 1 ARA is 100 square meters. Okay. That means 20 ARA is
2,000.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say I have 100 ARA.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to get building permits and build on 20%.
Yeah.
I give 20% to you.
Yeah.
I lease it out to you. But then I think, I don't really care because it's my land. I'm going to do what I want with it. I'm going to rent another 20 ARA to somebody else, right? And that person applies, does everything right, gets their permits before you.
Yeah.
You'll not get your permits. This is why we're not big fans of it, because it is a bit of a first come, first serve, and unless they have everything ready and in writing, then it's not something that we like.
Yeah. So in general, stay away from green zone. That's the first thing you have to do in your due diligence.
Yeah.
Ask your notary about the zoning of the land.
Yeah. And if the developer says, it's green zone, but we can build on 20% of it, give us a call.
And especially what's going on in Bali right now, where the government is checking everything, it's a bad idea to build in green zone.
And you know what? It's very possible, extremely possible, to buy a villa that's in the right zoning with the right permits, where you don't have that risk, and therefore it's just not worth taking the risk on the other ones.
No. Amazing. So when there's so much building going on in Bali, will there be an oversupply, you think, within the next coming years?
No, I don't think so. If you have the right villa, right? And again, I was with a customer this morning that's just bought their 3rd villa in Bali. We had a conversation about 6 to 8 months ago where they said, we'd like to get something in Canggu. What do you think? And I said, absolutely, still worth buying in Canggu, but we need to be even more specific with what we're going to get for you, right? So I think if you talk about the 2 areas, of course in Canggu, because it's been developed for a longer time, there's a lot more competition here. With more competition, you need to be more selective with the villa that you buy, right? Because if you want it to stand out in the daily rental market, or even in the rental market at all, it needs to be different to the rest. Uluwatu is a much younger market. So, you know, you could almost make a mistake in Uluwatu and get away with it for the time being.
Yeah, for the time being.
But in Canggu, it just wouldn't work.
No.
So is there an oversupply? I don't think there's an oversupply. But of course, if you want to make the big ROIs, like anywhere in the world, you need to be very specific with where and what you buy.
Nice explanation. He's a wise guy. So it's all about location, design, price, according to your ROI calculation.
Absolutely.
So if you are looking at the one bedrooms performing the best, what I'm sitting out there in the world and I want to invest in Bali, how much money should I actually bring to get a 1 and a 2 bedroom in Bali in the right location, right design, right lease?
Yep.
And
yeah, I think whether we looked at Canggu or Uluwatu, we shouldn't see too much difference in
Not
the
anymore,
price. If you came to us a year to 18 months ago, we'd have said the prices were higher in Uluwatu. But I think they've leveled out a little bit now. If you were looking at a 1 bedroom and we were to guide you towards something that has one of the best ROIs we can get you, I'd say plus minus $200,000.
Okay.
Right? It's possible to get something a little bit less, and maybe it's in a up and coming area where your rates are going to be a little bit lower. Maybe you'll still get the occupancy, but I think around 200,000 for a 1 bedroom is
reasonable,
what it takes.
For how long a lease?
Between 25 to 30, depending on,
Directly from the developer or,
From the developer, but actually from the landowner, right? The developer's the middleman. Of course, you can spend a little bit more than that, and we do have developments that go up to 219,000 if you're talking a really A1 location, right?
A1, maybe also different
location.
materials and so on,
2 bedroom, I mean, for something of very good quality, good design, right location, I think plus minus 250. It's possible to get something fantastic for 239 at the moment. It's also, you know, you can also spend 299 to get something a bit bigger, premium, again, at A1 location. So 250,000 for a 2 bed, I think that will get you into the market.
Nice.
Also worth mentioning, I mean, if you had less than that, I mean, you can get a fantastic Mayora Hill for 169 at the moment, which is a 1 bedroom studio.
I'm just talking about the market in general,
but
right?
So I think your people shouldn't be put off by 200,000. You can enter the market much lower.
And ROI wise, because we keep talking about ROI, people when they invest in Bali, they're looking for a certain percentage. What do you like to say to your customers? Not overpromise.
No, absolutely.
Like
I mean, I think there's probably billboards around Bali that say 22% ROI, and I wouldn't believe
probably
it.
20% net ROI.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't believe it. And for a long time, we targeted 15%, which I think, again, we're talking about a slightly younger market in Uluwatu, less inventory. It was possible to get even more than that in some very unique scenarios.
18, I think,
But comfortably now, I think we would talk about 12% as a net ROI. Again, needs to be the right product, the right location. But if you have that 1 or 2 bedroom, I think 12% is very comfortable to achieve.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you just been on vacation in most of South of Europe, right?
Yeah.
12%, you're not going to get that anywhere.
No.
It's so seasonal in Europe,
absolutely.
Right?
And we're talking year round, right? So
yeah, nice. Okay. Then a lot of things happened the last 3 to 4 months. The government stepped in and changed a lot in Bali.
Yep.
I think it's great. I think it's something that we are going to probably speak a lot about in different videos. But what actually happened with the setup of the PTPMAs, the SLF, the PPG, what is going on in Bali?
So I think the first one, Wayan Costa, who's the governor of Bali, came out and said...
Thank you, Wayan Costa.
Said, we're banning Airbnb, which was misinterpreted. It was basically they were going to remove anything that was unregulated or unlicensed, which is completely fair enough.
It's fair.
Kind of goes back a little bit to what we said about green zone. People had villas that were in the wrong zoning. Green is agricultural, shouldn't be built on. Wrong zoning, wrong licenses, or maybe no permits at all. People advertising their villa personally when they were foreigners, and they should do it through a company or through a management company. There was a lot wrong with what was happening. What he actually meant was we're going to take off anything that is not done in the right way, which was completely fair enough. As of March the 31st, what they insisted was that to be on the OTAs, the online travel agencies, you had to have a certain KBLI, which is a business code that is linked to your villa or PTPMA. That tidied up the system a little bit. So it meant that the ones that were unregulated or unlicensed were removed very quickly. And now it seems their next step is the PTPMAs. So a PTPMAs, a foreign-owned company. A lot were set up over the last 4 or 5 years in Bali. And I think probably not with the best intentions. No. People did it because they wanted visas or just an easier access.
Empty shell.
Yeah, and so these PTPMAs were just sat there not making any money, no profit or loss at all, just there to have a visa, basically. So the next step to what they're doing is getting rid of the old PTPMAs that people are not using, and then re-regulating the KBLIs so that people use the right KBLIs for the business activity.
Nice. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Fantastic. I mean, these are the types of things that needed to be tidied up a little bit in Bali in order to attract more investors that were a little bit more seasoned.
Investors.
Yeah. So I think these were very grey areas before that. Now they're a little bit more black and white, will actually attract people back.
I think it was the Wild Wild West before.
Yeah.
It was, everyone could just do whatever they wanted. I remember a few years ago after COVID, it was just a chaotic investment island, cryptocurrencies, villa management, villa developers. It was just, and now it seems, and like I said, I talked to a customer this morning. He was so relieved that finally the government was stepping in so he can bring in his money and invest heavily in Bali. And so that's amazing. We already touched it. Where would you invest today?
Bali.
Definitely. You would invest in Bali?
Yes.
Can I? Okay, we are live, so it doesn't really matter. We can talk as much as we want.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear some customers also considering Malaysia, Penang or whatever it's called, Vietnam, down south, Phuket or something.
Yeah.
Have no idea. I hope it's Thailand, of course.
Yeah.
Why Bali compared to these other areas?
I think there are more mature places, such as Singapore, of course, right? But Singapore, you have a lot of money, a 60% stamp duty, so it's much harder to get into. I think Malaysia, Thailand, actually probably up until now had a little bit more regulation with this is how much you invest related to the visa that you can get and things. So, you know, maybe it was a little bit more black and white in those places. One of our biggest competitors has always been probably Phuket in Thailand. A lot of people like it because it's an island in Southeast Asia. But if we're talking seasons, some of these other places in Southeast Asia also get hit very, very hardly in their rainy season.
Oh, yeah.
So
Philippines,
Yeah.
Vietnam.
You hear a lot about Siargao now as well in the Philippines. So I think there's a lot of places, but I think there's a few reasons why Bali is so popular. I mean, one, Bali is a brand that's known worldwide, right? Wherever you go in the world. I was just in Europe in the summer. Whenever I go on holiday and I say to people, if they start talking to me, I live in Bali. Wow, Bali is such an amazing place. I would love to go there one day, right? I think it's a brand that's known by people around the world. Secondly, we don't really suffer much in the seasons. No. So, you know, you're talking a lower month here still has 450,000 people flying in.
It's amazing.
Right? If you go to the higher months now, July, August, you're talking 650,000. So there's always a lot of people that come to Bali. Of course, there's big demographic from Australia coming here as well. So it's a little bit like Spain for people in the UK. It's very easy to get to. So you have a lot of interest from people around the world. You have very limited seasons. It's, you know, you can come whenever you want, really. And
have you looked into the other markets? I mean, what do you get for $200,000 in Thailand?
More a condo, I would say. You know, I've done research into Phuket.
And you've been
specifically.
There a lot, right?
I like Phuket, but if you're looking at the villa market, you'll pay more money for it. The styles, I would say, are not comparable to what we're seeing in Bali at the moment. So it's more likely that you'd get a condo. They have the foreigner freehold, 49, 51%.
How's the law in Thailand?
49% to foreigners, 51% to locals in condo blocks.
What do you think is they're hitting down on right now?
Probably the foreigners.
So for all the foreigners sitting in Thailand right now and don't know where to invest, you should come to Bali instead.
Yeah, but not for a condo.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, whatever.
It's crazy how the Thai government right now is hitting down on nominee structures.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not that common with their lease agreements.
No.
They exist in Thailand.
Yeah, I heard they do like 30-30-30 for their lease agreements, but it's not.
Yeah, and a lot of lawyers in Thailand, they have set up companies and said this is a bulletproof setup, and now.
Yeah. I've had people speak to me about Cambodia, Phnom Penh, Vietnam, some of the big cities, but I think
so many upcoming areas.
Very, very young markets in general, and maybe you can get into some of them a little bit cheaper, but you're also dealing with areas that don't have perhaps the number of tourists that are coming, more seasonal. So when we're talking about, I just mentioned you can get a studio in Canggu for $169,000 that will make you money, and you've got 10 cafes on your doorstep and a beach 500 meters away. I think that's uncomparable to anywhere else.
I think so too. It's the whole package.
Yeah.
Amazing. We are in a little over the half of 2026 and going into 2027 very quickly.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in 2027 in Bali?
Oh,
I'm sorry to ask that, but for investors it's relevant, right? To what's the future for Bali?
I think Bali is going to get more stable here. Like you said, it was a bit like the Wild Wild West for the first few years after COVID. It seems to be getting more regulated, more stable. I think it will continue to be more stable. Better developers, better developments. Everything just seems to be leveling up here. Bali as an island has some issues to deal with, such as trash, which we know, which is being dealt with, infrastructure, roads, but it's all getting better, right? And I think a lot of people complain about Bali, but if you compare Bali to the Bali I came to 12, 13 years ago, it's very, very different, right? And so it will continue to get better. And I think 2027 will be a good year. I think this year's been a little bit of a reset for people. And I think 2027 will continue to go forward.
I think one of the main that you just touched is waste management, right?
Yeah.
Like I told you previously, it's like $750 million put into this factory so we can get rid of all the garbage, because obviously when you are an island so dependent on tourism, we need a clean island.
Yeah.
So that's happening in 27, 28. It's going to be amazing. Thank you, Ryan Costa, for finally getting the funds together to build this factory. And they actually, because you are from the UK, they got some consultancy from the UK.
Yeah.
To set up this. It's going to be amazing.
It cannot be from London. It must be from my hometown or something.
So that's an infrastructure also. Yeah. Because, wow, we are getting new roads in Uluwatu.
We're getting new roads. If anyone's been down to Bingin and gone down the big hill, Labuan site, past our billboard, then they will see the new road that's going in left and right. And that's going to be amazing. It's a big,
it is going to be amazing.
Hopefully it connects.
So much money is being poured into Bali, and they know. I don't think the airport in the north is going to happen. I'm so sorry for everyone who is a fan about Lovina and Singaraja. The airport is probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But let's see. It's a little bit like, what was the train called?
Or the light railway system from the.
Before it was called something else? Yeah, it's
right. Also maybe not going to happen anytime soon. But
we just need things to normalize a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, 2027 is going to be an amazing year. I know we had some questions already, and we have a beautiful assistant called Angie, and she's going to ask some of the questions. They were sent to us before this video, but if you're sitting out there and you are joining us live, you're more than welcome to write a question as well, and we will, of course, reply it. And you can, because we are live, you can actually maybe catch us in with a very good question.
Controversial.
Yeah, controversial question. Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, let's take the first one. Angie.
Yep. Dubai Future on YouTube asks, what is our opinion on Jimbaran? It has better access to water supply, new roads being built, and it's close to the beach.
Yeah.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Because I was there this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. Jimbaran has the most beautiful beach.
Yeah. Agreed.
It has absolutely nothing appealing to expats. That's a problem. I stayed in one day in Sundara, which is a part of the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. It was super nice. I think it has huge potential.
Yeah.
Huge, huge potential. The beach is there. Even the harbor area is really nice. The location is perfect, just south of the airport.
Yeah.
But there is not much going on.
No.
And that's the problem. I think it's very limited cafes. There's a few restaurants. You love to go down there to have seafood, but it's a local restaurant.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we are missing more cafes. We need money to be going in the direction. We need more expats to move down there. And I just don't know where they're going to move in.
No. No.
Because it's Indonesians all the way to the beach, more or less, right?
Yeah.
And in the back on the other side of Jimbaran main road, no one's going to live there.
No.
So it has potential, but there's no space to build villas. There's a little bit on the... That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Would you like to live in Jimbaran?
No, not for me. I'm the same. I like to go there for the day. I think there's some nice resorts down there. I love to go down there and have
we have
seafood.
famous hotels. Intercontinental
has a great
Belmont,
spot.
I saw also. I was walking on the beach. So those ones, Four Seasons.
But I think it's very nice. You know, it's a little bit like Nusa Dua, right? If you left your resort and went out, you wouldn't know what to do.
No.
There's nowhere to go, right? So I think Jimbaran has a fantastic beach. I agree with that.
Wow.
But I don't think it's going to attract the number of tourists that you're going to get in the other
There's
places.
no space to build villas.
No.
I think we had a few developers building 6 to 8 villas down there.
Yeah.
We simply don't have the customers for
No.
them. So we kindly rejected the proposal, but it's Next question.
Aristotle from YouTube asked a few questions. The first is for investment, Ubud or Uluwatu?
That's easy.
Yeah, I'm going to say Uluwatu. First of all, we don't do a lot in Ubud, and I think Ubud is a fantastic place.
It is.
But what I would say, again, there's a lot of resorts up there. Our problem with Ubud, maybe it's my problem with Ubud, I love the place, right? I think fantastic food up there. It's great to go for a weekend. But when you drive to Ubud, Google Maps will say you're in Ubud, but you're still 10 kilometers away from the city center, right? The area is huge. And so when we get these really nice villas that come to us, we find out, it's 8 kilometers away from anything, right? And perhaps that's what people want up there. But I
Peace
think
and quiet, or
the ones that maybe buy up there, that want to live there, they want to be a little bit more remote. But again, I don't see the number of tourists that you're going to get like you will in Uluwatu or Canggu to fill the investment properties.
My feeling is also we have a French developer who built a lot of villas up there, very successful. But now we see the customers are coming back to us saying, can you resell my villa because I'm down to 5-6% ROI. People are living up there.
Yeah.
They love to live. It's residential.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are a handful of successful Airbnb properties up there because they're extremely unique, but maybe huge as well. But for the average property, if we're talking about what we just talked about, the entry barrier of $200,000 where you can get a 1 or 2
They
bedroom.
don't exist, right?
And you won't feel it,
No.
I don't believe. So,
we have seen some of the most beautiful villas in Ubud.
yeah.
And they don't even exist in Uluwatu or in Canggu, but it's very unique up there. But for me, if I went to Ubud, I would check into a hotel, to be honest.
Yeah.
The hotel's up there. Wow.
Very nice.
Like the FMBC. Yeah, next question.
Aristotle's second question is, would you recommend retiring in Bali?
I'm very far away from that, but you can ask him.
I would say I'm very close to retire. Yeah, I would say 100%. And thank you for that question, because we sell a lot of finished villas, homes to people now, and whether you want it as a second home, you have an apartment in Dubai, or you live in Singapore, you have a second home. Retiring in Bali gives you everything.
Yeah.
Lifestyle, affordability, security.
Yeah, and also I think if you're talking about people who are closer to retirement and what they look for, right? You talk about Sanur now, you have a huge international hospital there, amazing. Right? You have everything that you really need here. So also you can be a little bit more confident that you're safe and protected here and that you're going to be looked after if something happens.
If you want to meet Joe in 15 years' time, he's going to retire and be in Sanur.
15?
Yeah.
5.
Give me another 15.
Okay. Or you can meet
but
Angie.
Definitely,
you can meet Angie now.
Yeah, there is a lot of places you can retire. Also Ubud, I think it's amazing. You just pick and choose whatever you love. Bali has everything.
Yeah.
And also the islands outside, which is not a part of Bali. If you go to Sinengan, Nusa Penida, Lembungan, Gili Islands, amazing. Yes, next question.
Henria from Instagram asks, the market for sales has been very slow lately, only short and long-term rentals. Do you agree? Investors are scared now due to all announcements from government.
That's a very good... Is it a statement? The market has been very slow?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it's a statement. Okay, yes. Like Joe said in the beginning, the market has slowed down.
Yeah.
Hasn't crashed. It's a soft landing.
Yeah, and I think just to put into context,
Compared
when people say
exactly.
slowing down, right, it's like a Formula One car that starts to go 60 miles an hour instead, right? The market is still very busy. Exactly. It's just that people were used to it being absolutely insane, right? So yes, it's slowed down, but still very busy. And basically what I said at the beginning, there's been a lot of announcements and a lot of things happen this year that probably caused that, but it's still a very good market.
I think I don't want to go into politics. It's just the way the Indonesian government and Wayan Costa and Bali has, they said we are going to ban Airbnb. It's not good press, right?
Yeah.
They scared away a little bit of investors, but it is normalizing now. And she said something about. Angie, what did she say? That the market has slowed down?
Yeah, she
and
says,
what more?
The market has been very slow lately, only short and long-term rentals. Do you agree?
For selling, I just want to touch that subject because Joe and we talked about it all the time. What we hear from developers and from sellers who wants to sell finished villas, they say the other agencies are complaining about basically the beginning of the year, the last 5-6 months. When the war broke out in the Middle East, of course, the first 2 months, but now we are happy with the market that is there, right? Yeah. That's why we're doing these videos as well. It's to tell people you can safely invest. And you were on vacation, and how full was the plane going back from where you?
100%. Yeah.
Same for me.
Yeah.
And I was looking around, and now I'm just thinking, of course you have to buy a 1-bedroom villa.
Yeah.
It was singles and couples.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically. Yeah. Families, not that many. I think maybe they go to Phuket in Thailand. Yeah. And I don't think Bali is right now, it's not that family friendly, to be honest. It's more like an experience island. There is families, of course, they love Bali. But I think it's more singles, couples, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom villas that are flying out.
Yeah.
Of course, also, which is another topic that we are going to touch very soon, apartments. But we will just get into that. Another question.
Yeah, Christo asks thoughts on Sanur for investment.
Thoughts on Sanur?
That's the Sanur expert over there.
Sanur expert. We talk actually every time we go live. We talk about this. Yeah. My love for Sanur, right?
My love.
Yeah. But it's a very
why are you in love with Sanur?
It's a very, very different market, right? Yeah. Just to explain a little bit about Sanur, I think typically Sanur has been known as the retirement village, right? It was an older demographic that went there, a little bit slower in life. And
slow pace is good.
Slow paced, maybe a little bit less developed in recent years as well, because it's an area that developed a long time ago. I think what we've seen there over the last few years for clients that do want to go there is the beach is amazing.
It is.
They have a boardwalk that runs.
Is the beach nicer than Jimbaran?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. They have a boardwalk that runs all the way along the beach, so you can walk 7-8 kilometers up and down. You have amazing resorts there. It's become a health hub for Indonesia. So the government is actually putting money into, I think they're building a recreational park. You have an international hospital there. You have everything you need, but it's a very different life, right? It's much slower still a lot more resorts than there are villas. And I think just less younger tourists that are going there, in all honesty. So I think those tourists are still looking at the busier places, which are Canggu and Uluwatu. Not to say that there's not business down there, but just a different demographic that go down there.
Definitely a perfect place to retire.
Yeah. And if you were to buy a villa down there, I mean, I regularly look at what the market has down there, and it's very, very limited, right? Most of the villas are quite old because it is an area that developed long before Canggu. So it's hard to get a kind of nice.
But Sanur is also split in two. You have the beach side and you have the more inland
west side of the bypass, they call it. Yeah.
And we all want to be on the beach side.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's where the boutiques are, the restaurants, the beach.
So, question: would I invest there? Probably not. Would I retire there? Absolutely. But if you came with $250,000 and said, "What is the best investment?"
Impossible.
I wouldn't be sending you there because I don't think you'd get
anything. Daily rental? No. For living, retiring, yes.
Very nice.
And I think you're right. Sanur is gonna develop because there's still land available up the coast from Sanur, and they want to all the way to Kettlewell, I think it's called.
Padangalak and those areas.
Oh man, it's got to be
very, very nice. And then we'll have Propertia Sanur, but not yet.
Not yet. Only when he retires.
Only when I go there.
15 years. Next one.
Dips from Instagram asks, do you recommend any foreign exchange companies to purchase in Bali?
Foreign exchange companies to change their money to IDR.
Oh.
No context.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm just touching on Forex.
Yeah,
it's a good subject.
Yeah, let's go into that.
Because I just been to Europe and I get paid in IDR, so that was not good. But if you are coming with any other currency, USD, AUD, Euro, pounds, whatever it is, and you change it into IDR, then you've hit the jackpot this year. Because basically what has happened is the IDR has devalued, and therefore every other currency,
which is not good for Indonesia,
against it. Not necessarily good for Indonesia, but if you're looking to invest in the island and prices of the villa you're looking at locked in IDR, then you effectively, in some cases, saving 10% in certain.
I looked at the numbers; it's between 12 and 15.
Yeah, so that's currencies in general. In terms of Forex companies, most people use TransferWise, but up to them.
Yeah.
Whatever saves the most fees.
Considering to buy in Bali, this is the year you should buy.
Yeah.
Because saving 10-12% on a property at $200,000, you do the math yourself.
In context, if you talk last year, you'd be talking $1 against around 16,000.
14 and a half
at the lowest point, right? Most recently, I think it was 17,800.
18
it did go above 18 at one point. So
yeah, it's good for you guys investing. Yeah.
Rai on YouTube has a really good question.
Really good question.
Okay.
Amazing.
Brace myself.
How can you guarantee that when you buy an off-plan villa, that the developer won't keep your money and not pay the builder and the landowner?
Ooh,
good question.
That was a very good question. Yeah. Have we had situations with developers? Yes, we have. We are 100% transparent here. We are trying to protect our customers who are the buyers, and we have a good relationship with the developers. Maybe that's also why we work with less developers now. Yeah. We are more selective. We need to know their financial situation. Can they afford to build and so on? But wow, there has been many, many cases. And I'm going to do videos about that also. Yeah. Developers who left Bali. Yeah. Left all the problems with their customers. But what we do in Propertia is we sell villas. We don't sell apartments. Sorry. We will explain why very soon. But we actually we demand that the lease of the land is signed over to the buyer immediately when we are signing the off plan.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit in details about that?
So I think ordinarily what will have happened is we have a developer that will have leased a piece of land.
Correct.
Direct from a landowner usually, and that is the master lease.
Yeah.
Then when they're selling off plan, they're taking a part of that master lease and transferring it over to our buyer. What happened a lot in the past is that never got transferred until all of the payments of the construction were fulfilled. And that leaves people in a very tricky situation if the
because they're paying the developer all the time installments, right?
And so what we insist, and this is learning over the last 4 or 5 years in off-plan sales and working very closely with notaries, is that the lease land gets transferred to the buyer immediately. The buyer is also only paying the developer based on certain milestones that are hit.
Correct.
So you should never be ahead of that milestone.
Nope.
If it says you need to pay 50% by XYZ, that's what you stick to. And therefore you'd never be ahead and risk that stage where the developer could run away with your money. Contracts are set out time and milestone based. So the developer has targets to hit based on certain timelines, but also milestones that they must achieve before you would pay them.
Yeah.
We've had definitely issues with developers in the past. We've heard of a lot more issues than we've been part of, fortunately. But something to be very careful with, definitely from a contract point of view.
I like the milestone thing.
Yeah.
Right? We go, we document, we have a development team, they can go and make a video.
Yes.
Now the windows have been installed, you can now pay another installment and so on. It is so basic, but I think a lot of people were tempted by just paying a lot of money up front to the developer, and unfortunately we have also been in this situation, right? Sure. You and me have tried to solve these, so we are not 100% perfect, but we are really trying to protect the customers. Yeah. Do we have more questions?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ahoja on Instagram asks, is Seminyak worth looking at, as we love to holiday there and would love to own a villa there? Or has that ship sailed? Only Canggu and Uluwatu with investment?
Yeah, I think...
Has the ship sailed?
Yeah, people are very charmed by Seminyak, right? Because there's a lot of people that have gone there for 10, 15, 20 years on holiday, and it's probably, if I came back to Canggu in 10 years' time, I'd think that was the place that I loved as well. Unfortunately, I think in a lot of instances, it's too late to get into Seminyak unless you have something very unique. And what you actually see more of now in Seminyak, I was at one last week and I was at one a few months ago, is there's old villas there that people are now renovating and reselling. And that probably is a sign of the market there, really, that it's being reinvented or trying to be reinvented. I also think when we talk about Seminyak, we also talk about two different places, right? Because you have the Seminyak side, which is Petit Tengut down to 66. A lot of nice resorts, a few more
very
cafes,
exclusive,
much nicer area. But of course, Seminyak then kind of rolls into Legian, which I think has had a much harder time recovering, definitely post-COVID.
I don't think it ever recovered.
I've driven through there a few times and there's people around, but it's definitely not what I remember 7 or 8 years ago, right? So I think there's two sides to Seminyak. Would I invest in there? Probably not. Unless specifically I came with a lot of money and I wanted something to live in when I was here and rent out when I was
not. I think the customer said she loves Seminyak, and then it's worth investing for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
they're a little bit bigger, the villas. They're 3 to 5 bedroom.
I know people with huge villas, 3 to 5, 4 or 5 bedroom villas in Seminyak, that they use as their residence when they're here, right? And they like the area, and they're also able to make money on it when they're not here. Yeah. But if you came with several hundred thousands of dollars and said, where should I invest? It wouldn't be top of our list
I agree.
for you.
100% agree. Yeah, nice. Good answer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Henria from Instagram asks, given new regulations, how does a foreigner legally conduct Airbnb?
With the right company set up and with the right management company.
There's 2 ways, right? You can either have a PT PMA yourself.
Yeah.
The PT PMA is the foreign-owned company where you can be director as a foreigner, and you can find a business partner, your wife or so, could be commissaris.
Yeah.
And then you get the KBLI codes. Or you used to be able to get the KBLI codes. And then you can just, which we recommend right now, go to a management company.
Yeah.
And they have the KBLI codes, the business codes.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most important thing with this is as a foreigner, you cannot advertise it yourself. No. And that's what you need to avoid, right? You cannot put it on the OTAs yourself.
You mean as a single person without a company?
Yes.
Yes.
You cannot do that.
No,
so
you cannot.
Whether you collaborate with the management company, set up a PTPMA, how you do it, there's a couple of different ways, but I think most importantly, speak to a notary depending on your setup, and they will guide you.
But everything starts to make sense now. Everything is connected, right? In OSS system, and people are super stressed about it. And all I can say, just get, can I say shit in order? Just get everything in order, because that is what you need right now. You cannot, I remember in the old days, people, they rented a yearly rent, and then they turned it into daily rental also. Yeah. Highly illegal.
Yes.
Very illegal as a private person, and then a bank account, and then I'm a villa owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's normalizing the market. Thank you.
Liz from Instagram asks, what are the best areas with ocean view from cliff maybe, or walking distance to the beach that is not overly crowded and heavy traffic, but still near nice fitness restaurants, etc.?
I'd say around Uluwatu, and that could be, Uluwatu is a huge place. I think we touched on it at the beginning, and a lot of people talk about being in Thomas Beach. And if you're a pure investor that wanted to buy a villa for daily rental, we'd still talk about those areas. But if in this scenario you want something that you can live in that is close to everything, or live in when you're here and rent out when you're not here, still close enough to everything to feel like you're connected to the cafes.
5-10 minutes scooter ride.
Yeah, I mean, you edge of Pachatu, Nyang Nyang, maybe Belangan if they sort out the connectivity to it. But yeah, that probably the areas around Uluwatu. Ocean view is maybe possible in the right development, but definitely being close to
Was
a
it
beach.
ocean view or cliff frontage?
Ocean view.
Ocean view, cliff maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe ocean view, but I think the outskirts of being in Thomas Beach.
Sure. And then just drive into
the
nice touristic areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Sakura asks, do you have Swiss investors?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's the question? Do you have Swiss investors? Yeah, we have a lot from Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yes, of course we do. We have investors from all over the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I look in our CRM system and I look at the flags, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Where is this country?
Very diverse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very diverse. And of course, we have a lot of customers from Dubai, and that is like a multicultural. But we have a lot of customers from the Middle East also. But Europe, we have a lot of Dutch customers, Spanish customers, Swiss customers. Today it was a German customer. Not so many from Scandinavia. It's very disappointing.
Yeah.
Why is that, Joe? Too far.
Small countries.
Yeah, small countries.
Yeah.
UK? We have
a lot from the UK. And I mean, also if you're coming with pounds and you wish to change it into IDR, you get a lot for your money these days.
Yeah.
I was just in the UK, and very nice in the summer, but probably the investment climate is not fantastic there anymore. So for people that have a bit of cash sat around, we have a lot of clients from the UK.
I think people in general, investors globally, are confused what to invest in and where to invest.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Bali, 1 or 2 or 3 villas, that's a perfect setup. And then you can invest in gold, Bitcoin, or whatever you want besides that. But Bali villas will always remain a good investment.
Ben Bear from Instagram asks, which areas in Uluwatu have the best price to ROI ratio?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Because there is a few, right?
Yeah.
Price, ROI.
Yep.
So Binging.
Yep.
Because I said Binging is booming 2 years ago. It boomed.
Yep.
It's still booming. Then you said it's going to move towards Thomas Beach.
Yeah.
And now Thomas Beach, oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think...
why is it called Thomas Beach?
It's actually not Thomas Beach, right? I think I think Padang stole the name, and therefore they had to call it something
very confusing,
else,
but I just went with Satya on Thomas Beach and shot for the other day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful beaches in Bali.
I saw someone on the weekend that we did a motorbike trip with about 8 or 9 years ago.
Wow.
And we drove through Thomas Beach to Astana.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about it. And I said, wow, when we went through Thomas Beach, it was almost abandoned, right? There was nothing open. No cafes, no restaurants. And you took this little road through to Astana. It was absolutely nothing. And I was telling him about the development there now. I was there maybe 6 to 8 weeks ago, and I wanted to go out for dinner at night. And I drove in the car down to Thomas Beach, and I couldn't believe how many people were there. It was so absolutely insane. Just people absolutely everywhere. And the whole area is just booming. And we still actually have some developments in Thomas Beach, and we have some clients that invested there in the last year that are about to hit the market. Yeah. And I think they're going to be extremely successful because there's a very small handful of opportunities there.
I 100% agree.
So Thomas Beach definitely is.
Yeah. And next time it's going to be Sullivan. That's what you promised me.
Yeah, you invested there.
Yeah. But I actually want to be left alone. So
yeah. I think Sullivan, obviously you go up the hill to Nyang Nyang. I mean, we talked about it even 2 or 3 years ago, and now you have one cafe up there and things are happening, but it's
you
very
have Reform,
slow.
which is Pilates.
Yeah.
They don't open anywhere, which is not, really developing fast. Fluke, the clothing store, and Rupa, the new cafe. It's amazing.
In Sullivan.
In Sullivan. Yeah. Rupa is like next level price-wise.
So I think, naturally it will work around the coast, the same as it has here, right?
All the way to
along
Nyang
the coast here.
Melasti.
So,
yeah, nice. But Hawaii, there's a Binging still, very strong. And Thomas Beach, definitely the best areas.
Ben Bear actually has a follow-up question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Ungasan, more central Uluwatu? Feels like Umalas to Canggu.
It's a good analogy.
Feels like Umalas
to Canggu.
It's true, yeah. I mean, I like Ungasan a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on the main street, but it's a little bit secondary. It's not where, we see a very high occupancies in Ungasan also. I saw some villas with 80% occupancy in across from Kuta Golf.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit, whoa, hang on, what's going on? But it's upcoming, the whole...
Yeah, I think
everything is changing.
Very worth investing in those areas if you can get in at the right price point. Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to, right? You should not be paying anything close to what you're paying in Bingin if you're going to Ungasan or the start of Pachatu. But doesn't mean it's a bad investment if you can get it at the right price.
But this is my main issue in general, right? Everyone building in the outskirts of Canggu, in the outskirts of Bingi, they are listing it at the same price as prime areas. Doesn't work out.
No.
That's why you need a real estate agent to advise you where to build and what to build. Where to buy. Yeah, next one.
24 Carat from Instagram asks if we can talk about Chamagi,
24
please.
Carat?
24 Carat.
That is so cool.
He asked if we can talk about Chamagi, please.
Yes, of course we can.
Yeah.
Chamagi, we had Cesar.
Yeah.
Changed in 3 years. Wow. I mean, I just talked to another customer the other day. If you live in Cesar, you don't need to go to Canggu anymore.
No.
You have everything. Restaurants.
You had 2 gyms open in the last month there.
Paddle courts, boutiques, cafes, restaurants, pizzerias, whatever.
Yeah.
Everything.
And it's funny, I mean, Sese has been a very cool place for quite a few years. People love to say they live in Sese. It's a little bit affluent, I would say, to live there. Less people like to say they live in Chamagi. I think, unfortunately, the area hasn't grown in the same way.
But the video I shared you the other day in Chamagi?
Yep. Yeah, the area is changing fast there. Chamagi's okay. I mean, if we're talking
more
about
residential,
investment,
right?
Yeah, if we're talking about investment, it's not somewhere that I would put clients if they want to live, maybe. But I think what you deal with when you're that far away, if you are somebody that needs to leave Bali now and then and get to the airport, you add an hour to your journey by living over there, right? So I think it's just a very different client that lives there.
I think Chamagi is going to happen. It's just before Nyani and Nuano.
Yeah.
And then we have Tanalot, and then we have Kidungu.
Yeah.
It's a little bit the same as Kirungu, more quiet, more residential. Not for daily rental, but wow, beautiful out there.
Tonong asks, what did you think about investing in Airbnb lately?
In Airbnb, any Airbnb?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's managing your expectations. I think it's if you buy an Airbnb, you need to be very specific. Where do you want to be? What do you want it to look like?
Yeah.
And does it have any kind of previous business performance? If you're buying off plan from us, we are down to, like you said, 6 to 8 developers because they are prime areas. And I just made a video with Sandy for Mallorca, Costa, in middle of Bingy.
Yeah.
Last unit left, $259,000. Those kind of villas are standing out from the market in general, right?
Yeah.
So I think Airbnb can be a very, very good idea, but you need to. It's a little bit like buying a nice car, right?
Yeah.
You need to buy something unique,
special.
Which car would you buy if you had
unlimited?
Yeah.
Good question. I'm a bit out of touch with the car market now. I haven't had a car in a long time. I have a nice scooter.
Okay. Which villa would you buy in Bali? Just give me. I gave you $250,000.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me unlimited.
Okay, no, 250 to 300. Which one that we are selling in Propertia would you say?
Yeah,
that's bulletproof.
That's other developers are going to hate me. A single level Mallorca Costa.
Yeah, me too.
I would. And actually, we have a lot of fantastic developments. Some really, really nice ones. And actually, that just suits my style a little bit more. That's
but it
why
also
I like
comes down to that it's single level.
It's single
that
level.
That means that you take 90% away from the market, that people love that flow that you're walking in one level.
Yeah.
Which demand a little bit more land because obviously when you're building single level, it takes more land.
Yeah, so probably something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what? If you gave me the money, I would take most of the nice developments. So
that's true.
They're all nice.
Me too.
Yeah.
So many nice developments.
We have a question from YouTube, which I think is asking for your professional opinion. My friend found a pink zone land almost next to Jimbaran Beach. Due to close to the airport and ocean view, it can be potential something. If the price is sharp, around 180 to 209,000, 2-bedroom with sauna, what do you think?
Did you just say it's close to the airport?
Yes, it's
How close?
Close to the airport and has an ocean view. Does it have any potential?
So, pink land south of the airport, I assume, but north in Jimbaran? Is the customer asking if they should build or?
I think they're asking for your professional opinion.
Are they selling this? Maybe they built it and they're selling it. I actually know of some developments down there and people have asked me about it. And what I would say is we're not experts in that area. It's not an area that we've ever really focused on. But that's because we haven't seen the data to back it up, right? So do I think the price is reasonable? I'm not sure. I don't think that we would have clients that would spend that money down there, but it doesn't mean that there aren't clients. I just think it's a very different market. And like we said, it's a little bit like Sanur, where the whole area is built from nice resorts, and people that go there, because there's not a lot around, tend to stick to the resorts. They stay in Intercontinental so that they can have breakfast,
definitely
lunch, and
not
dinner
easy
there,
area
right?
to sell villas.
So an Airbnb down there is going to have a big challenge because where will people go to get their breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Where will they train and things like that? So my personal opinion is I don't think I have an expert opinion enough to to advise on Jimbaran.
And it's funny, in Jimbaran, there's not one real estate agent.
No.
And can only guess why.
Yeah.
We're down to our last two questions.
Nice.
Okay.
So have we seen a drop in Airbnb nightly rates in Canggu this high season, especially with the increase in costs leading to a decrease in ROI?
Have we seen a drop in drop in occupancy?
In the nightly rates?
In the nightly rates?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I think we have. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I think one is that, yeah, of course, there's a lot more competition within itself than it's ever had before. But we also need to account for Uluwatu. And as I said, a lot of people would come here for their holiday and spend 90% of their time in Canggu and just visit Ubud and Uluwatu for day trips. Now people are splitting their time.
Yeah.
So that also will decrease the occupancy in Canggu, which in turn will decrease the nightly rates, because in order to fulfill the occupancy, you need to be a little bit cheaper. So yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys watching live here has seen my video about ROI, but I pull up a few villas in Canggu with 85 to 90% occupancy, basically only because of location, design.
Yeah.
And nightly prices were around $160 to $200 per night. So they were, it was massive. The income was massive. And we have one last question.
So we have one last question, but we'll let you decide which one to answer. So
you can answer both.
You can answer both? Okay, cool.
One each. Give Joe the bad question.
So Sam Sumbawa asks, 24 Karat asks, if you're an investor in Bali, would you rather sell the property or rent it? Why?
If I'm an investor in Bali,
would you rather sell the property or rent it?
Why?
Would I rather buy the property, or I don't understand the question?
I believe it's if you own a property, would you rather sell it altogether or keep it as a rental?
I mean, first of all, it depends on the property, right? I think it's depends on what your property is. I've had a lot of conversations with clients that, we talk a lot about Airbnb and daily rental, but also let's not forget that the long-term rental is also very good here, whether that's monthly or yearly. There's a lot of people that come to Bali for extended periods, not just 2 weeks. Some come for months, some come and stay for a year. And the demand for long-term rentals is still very high. Yeah. So for me, Airbnb is the most lucrative option, but the easiest option is long-term rental. So for sure. You'll make a little bit less, but you'll also have maybe less.
How much less do you think? If you rent out monthly compared to daily?
I think it depends on the property, but if we're talking net figures, I think
20, 30% less?
30% was going to be my guess. And it depends on the property as well, right? If it's a larger property, then I might be inclined to rent it out long term just to get it filled. But yeah, I mean, selling is, I think you'd have to have a bad property to want to sell it in this market when you could rent it in so many different ways.
Depends on the location, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So last question. Can you tell us a bit more about Dreamland Beach area? It seems prime location, but driving through feels super abandoned and run down. Will it come back?
You walk your dog there, so
I walk my dog when I'm in Uluwatu on Dreamland Beach in the morning. Highly recommended. So what happened was there's still a few hectares, or there was a few hectares left. What happened just next to Dreamland Beach, sitting on the cliff, and I think Mia and Carrie actually shot there a few times. There was this empty plot. It was 2.5 hectares. It was bought up and subdivided and sold again, and now it's developing like crazy.
Okay.
And what is the hotel called that's been abandoned for 20 years?
Above the Sterling.
Yeah, right? The Sterling. Yeah, exactly. It's called the Sterling in the back. I think that whole area, Michael is just about to sell a fantastic villa down there. Dreamland for me is an amazing beach.
I think it's a very easy extension to Bingen. I saw a gym just opened there, which looks incredible. So I think stuff like that needed to happen to grow the area. But it's so easily connected to Bingen that I think we will see it grow quite a lot in the next year.
There was a hotel closed down on Dreamland Beach. I don't know what it was called, but that's why everyone thinks it's a little bit like a ghost town.
Yeah.
But Bingen is pushing the development towards Dreamland Beach. So it's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years, I think. Then everything will be renovated and beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. No, we don't have any more questions? Okay, cool. So last chance. If you have any questions, write it in the comments. Is it in the comments? Whether you're on Instagram or in YouTube, this is your chance. But also, if you want to ask anything afterwards, we can just make another video where we are touching the new subjects. Otherwise, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And as usual, if you want to buy a property in Bali, who should you contact?
Call me.
Propertia.
Cool Propertia.
Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.